Gauteng Cooperative Governance MEC Lebogang Maile says 250 million rand will be released to pay Emfuleni Municipality's debt. Maile says the municipality owes various creditors around 10 billion rand, dating back to at least 5 years. The MEC visited the embattled municipality earlier today. Silindelo Masikane was there. She's back in studio with us now. So, Sli, let's first talk about the oversight visit and what was found.
Well, we know that Emfuleni has been in a crisis for a number of years. In fact, it was put under administration back in 2018. And in fact, just before we went on air, I took note of the emblem for the city that says Vaal River City, the cradle of human rights. I think it's actually where we find a lot of human rights being violated. For many years, the residents of Emfuleni continue to take to the streets complaining about service delivery issues. We know the issue about sewage, the fact that they are living basically with sewage in their homes. It's going into the Vaal River itself. So what we saw today was the MEC with a number of other stakeholders basically checking up on what the progress is on the turnaround strategy. It is under administration, so there is a team in place that's supposed to deal with the debt as well as the service delivery issues. But I found his visit, I think, quite interesting in terms of the fact that we are in an election year, and it does seem as though we're going to see a lot of political parties, of course, trying to vie for some votes. So I had to actually put it to him whether his visit had anything to do with the fact that we are in an election year. Let's take a listen.
Things have always been moving. They have just been moving a bit slow. And now we're ramping up the intervention and make sure that we move even faster. The intervention was started in 2018, so it has nothing to do with elections. We intervene in all municipalities where things are not working well.
All right, so here's my issue. We know that the Deputy President was also there a couple of weeks ago, and he was there a year before, but this municipality still has issues. We now hear Maile saying that there'll be 250 million rand released to the municipality to deal with a debt that stands at 10 billion rand.
I know the numbers don't add up, but at this stage he's saying that the funds are going to be released to deal with the debts that's owed to creditors that have been owed for more than 5 years. So there are small creditors that need to be paid as soon as possible. So that 250 million will be dealing with those small creditors that they're trying to get off the books. But remind you, they still have a debt of around 1.3 billion that's still owed to Rand Water, and around 245 million rand that's still owed to Eskom. So I think it's still going to be quite a long road, but it does seem as though government officials are really battling, because we've had the SANDF, Shahan, coming into Emfuleni, moving in and moving out, but still nothing seems to work. But let's just take a listen to what Maile had to say around the debt.
The debt is close to 5 billion, just Rand Water and Eskom. But Emfuleni is owed 10 billion. So there's people who owe. So it means, in theory, if we're to collect, Emfuleni will be able to get back to normality. And that's why we are focusing on bringing efficiency, bringing systems. And that's why we're bringing a municipality like Emfuleni, which is collecting well, about 95%, to help us here and replicate the systems. But those are not our only creditors. We also have small, medium enterprises, people who have been owed for more than 5 years, more than 6 years. One of the plans we're working on, and we will be able to announce next week, or in 2 weeks' time, is to pay all the small creditors who are owed by Emfuleni, and that will be about 250 million. We're working on that plan. So there is money available, but the money is being held in some account that is being attached. As a story for another day. But that money, we've decided, is about 396 million. We're going to take it and pay all the small creditors of the municipality.
And residents, are they optimistic after hearing all of that?
Not at all. I mean, it's a year-in, year-out thing where they've seen politicians coming into the area promising to fix the issues. I mean, one of the last oversight visits at one of the local depots, I mean, I was shocked to see the number of trucks that are supposed to deal with collecting waste or fixing roads sitting there just waiting to be repaired. More than 20 trucks just sitting there, just not operational and not actually providing the services that are supposed to be given to the people. They're frustrated, they're fed up, and they're thinking that, you know what, we're seeing a lot of movement simply because we're in an election year. But they think that as soon as the votes have been tallied and we move on to 2022, that it's just going to be much of the same.
Yeah, same thing. And of course, residents can see through the lies of politicians. I think they always forget that. But let's hope that the MEC actually gets it right. We have to be optimistic.
I think it's high time we did something about Emfuleni. I think when I was speaking to our colleague Thulasizwe Simelane this morning, he was saying that I'm just another generation of journalists reporting on the very same issue, the very same municipality.
Yeah, it's a problem. We're going to try and get the MEC in studio tomorrow to talk about this a bit more. He was too busy today. Hopefully we'll see him then. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Silindelo Masikane.